Oh, Daddy's cranky.
No, Daddy's not cranky, but Daddy don't know how to count. So,
and cranky about it.
Daddy's getting too damn old for this shit.
Dave, how many fingers am I holding up?
How many am I holding up?
How many now?
Once upon a time, 3 writers helped crack open the indie publishing world. Then they rode into the sunset, building bigger stories, taking bigger swings, and learning what actually lasts when the noise dies down. Now the band is back together, older, sharper, and uninterested in shortcuts. This is the Smarter Artist Show with Sean Platt, Johnny B. Truant, and David W. Wright. It's the same 3 voices you know talking about the craft and commerce of storytelling, from the work they're creating to the TV shows and movies they can't stop thinking about. Shop talk for artists playing the long game in a creative world that never slows down. If you've been here since the early days, welcome back. If you're new, pull up a chair. You're listening to the Smarter Artist Show. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I thought Johnny said he was going to be gone for 2 weeks.
And then he was gone for 2 weeks.
He only missed 1 episode, though.
Nope. I can show you time-stamped photos of me in another part of the country, not on the podcast at that time.
Okay, well, when I was looking at Riverside last night, where we do all the recording and shit, there was 1 episode without Johnny, and then the one right before that was with Johnny.
Then you lost an episode or didn't record one of those weeks. Also, I'd like to, I don't know, this is breaking news if somebody wants to be, so the possible confusion could be that nobody knows how weeks work, because I was actually, if I said I was gone for 2 weeks, if that were accurate, I would have missed 1 episode because I would have missed the one in the middle of those 2 weeks. But I haven't seen you guys for 3 weeks and missed 2 episodes, but I missed 2 weeks worth of episodes. So forgive my poor verbiage there.
we got on and we were chilling for like a couple of minutes, and then I said, is Johnny coming on? And Dave's like, I didn't invite him.
Well, fuck you then, man.
He said he was missing 2 weeks. I'm like, dude, it's been 2 weeks.
He's all busy with his comics career. His Comic-Con tours.
Dave's in the multiverse.
I actually didn't miss anything for the Comic-Cons. That's the funny part, is the Comic-Cons had nothing to do with it.
Welcome back, Johnny.
Hey, speaking of Comic-Cons, I don't know if I mentioned this. This isn't my something cool, but when I was at Comic Palooza, I'm there at my booth, and this dude comes up, and he puts his hand on Fat Vampire and goes, I read the audiobook for this. And it was the narrator for the Fat Vampire audiobooks, and he didn't know I was going to be there. I'd never met him. It was Joe Hempel was his name, and I was like, what the hell? It was just one of those random things. I thought it was funny.
Oh, that was the second version, right? Because you re-recorded all of those because there was some shenanigans with someone who didn't finish the first batch.
That might be the case. I do kind of remember that it felt like somebody started and we had to get them to release us from a contract or something.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, you didn't finish it. There was a very early version that I recorded the first book myself on Podiobooks.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And Bialy Pimps too, right?
Bialy Pimps was another. But
you're slowly recording like the whole catalog in audio now,
right? If by slowly recording you mean that I set the intention then did nothing else, then yes, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Well, that's Dave's business model.
But I'm sure everybody's fascinated by this, but I did take that old Podiobooks recording of the Bialy Pimps because I thought I'd record them myself because number one, that way I don't have to pay a narrator and it's not like I'm hemorrhaging money right now. Number two, I've been told that my audiobooks are pretty good. That I'm like by a few people who I was like, please tell me if they're not good.
You do have a good voice for it. You do love your own work, and it shows. And then also you're good at the post-production stuff. Like it sounds pro.
I'm just curious how you can hear the story with the sound of Johnny's masturbation. Just because
you gotta use a lot of lubricant, not just on you, but on the chair.
It's also
you're
in the
sitting
levels.
In.
Like
you're right.
If you got the raw files, you probably would hear both in unison. But I think
you guys aren't noticing right now. Now, if I were to move the mic down, Just saying. No, hold on.
Wow.
Whoa, the microphone fell out. I was masturbating so hard. I love that this is going to be somebody's first episode. I'd be like, hey, what's going on here? No, what I was going to say was that I did take that original, and I talked to people and they were like, yeah, I like when the author reads it and it can to some degree counterbalance the fact that you're not as good of a reader as like Scott Brick or somebody like that. So anyway, I took that audiobooks and like clipped off all because it was annoying because audiobooks was a podcast audiobook and I had an intro and an outro on every one like a CTA. So I had to cut it all out. And then that is the version that's for sale on my site is the audiobooks version, but it's cleaned up. So it's like an audiobook now. There you go.
We were hoping to get Gilbert Godfrey, but he passed away. So
you know what I like is bagels.
So do you have something cool, Johnny?
Why don't that just be my something cool since we started late and I just gave you 2 little fun tidbits.
All right, what's your something cool, Dave?
My something cool is actually part of the topic of today's show.
Mine too.
Oh, okay.
And Johnny doesn't know what the topic is because you didn't invite him, so he gets to find
It's
out.
why
later.
Johnny sucks.
I hope it's masturbating while doing audiobooks.
Yes.
You came prepared.
Why wouldn't it be?
Wow.
Hold on, I'd just like to point out that wow is Dave distancing himself from a joke that he otherwise finds funny.
I have no idea what you're talking about. No, the wow is me looking for my notes while also trying to look at the screen.
All right, I'm gonna go and take
I'm
the
blind.
chance. You found it. You're ready.
Oh, you can go. Go ahead.
This is the most BTS episode ever.
The boy band BTS? The K-pop?
My something cool is the movie Obsession.
Oh yeah, I that's on my list.
Oh, cool, dude! You'll like it a lot.
Except
double
for
you, Dave.
an animal scene that I know is in it.
Oh yeah, that does violate.
I've already looked it up and I know it's coming, so I can be prepared.
Johnny,
I've heard it's amazing. From many people, and of course the Rotten Tomatoes is like 98 or something. So
Yeah, and deserved for. I mean, if you like horror, it ticks it. If you like, just the mechanics of the film industry, I think it's also really compelling. So that's our topic today, Johnny, is low budget horror. And what I love,
okay, that's fun.
yeah. So what I love about Obsession is $750,000, ladies and gentlemen, was the budget on this thing.
Oh, dang.
And it's made what, $250 million so far, and I couldn't help. I just recently gone over like a horror movie budget, like line item, and saw how money is spent, and so I couldn't turn that part of my brain off while I'm watching this. I'm thinking, man, like the numbers don't add up here. Like it's not Birdemic. Like Birdemic, you're like, man, that cost $30,000. Where did they spend it? This is $750, and you're like, wow,
On gas.
on the other end. But it's great. The lead actors are awesome. I liked all the actors in it, but the lead actor and the lead actress are both phenomenally good. And the actress, her name is Indy something. Obviously, I'd never seen her before because.
She's popping up all over YouTube.
Yeah, how could I have possibly seen her before in a movie that cost $750,000? But this seems like a star-making performance. The way she moves is just there's a signature performance here. I don't want to spoil it too much. I mean, the hook is somebody wishes that this girl that he's like totally smitten with, he wishes that she loved him more than anything else in the world. And then his wish comes true, and all that comes with that. And it's great. The jump scares are good. The writing is good. The acting is good. The directing is good. It is this guy Curry Barker now has a blank check in Hollywood. Good for him. But we just saw it. We just saw it on Sunday, and horror is not normally Cindy's jam, especially not going to see it in the theater. But she wanted to see it because it's a big news story, and I've been really into low budget horror, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. So yeah, we saw it and it was great. It was a fun experience. I loved it.
Now, my something cool is going to outdo your something cool just by
Take that,
sheer-
bitch.
Wait, hey, Johnny, does Dave sound really soft to you, or is it just me?
Oh my God.
No, I don't think so. I think that you're so used to him whispering sweet nothings in your ear. You're like, damn, I don't know what's going on right now. Am I being seduced? No, you sound fine to me, Dave.
Thank you.
You sound sexy to me.
Thank you again. Please remove your hands from your chair.
Let me move my microphone stand again.
My something cool is a movie that only cost $800 by the same exact person that did Obsession, which is Cory Barker. And it is Cereal and Milk, and it's on YouTube. It's a movie he made a couple of years ago. He has a YouTube channel where he started off doing like sketch comedy with another dude, and their comedy sketches are funny. And they started doing some shorts, including one called The Chair a few years ago. But this one was released. He was looking for distribution, couldn't get it from what I remember, or was having difficulty. And then found somebody that could get a hold of somebody, but that wasn't, like, it was taking too long for him. He's like, fuck it, let's just, put it on YouTube. And almost immediately, made his money back. In the $800, I think $700 of it was spent on a Sony video camera, which they then sold back when they were done with the movie. And so pretty much sheer profit. And it's in a 1 hour movie, and I watched that and enjoyed it a lot. I have not seen Obsession yet, unfortunately, although thematically it reminds me of one of my favorite movies called Thelma, which was...
We watched that for that podcast that never got aired.
Yeah, so...
Oh, that's where I saw it. Yeah, Dave brought it up in a conversation a couple of days ago, and I go, I know I've seen that movie, but
it is essentially a more existential, of what I know of Obsession, a more existential version of the same thing. What would happen if you wished for somebody to love you? It's a way different story, and it has a lot of different weird shit going on. But I did enjoy that story and the existential questions that it posed to me anyway, that I liked a lot. So yeah, that's my something cool. Check out his channel. I mean, now everybody's checking it out, but
yeah, I didn't know about this movie until Dave slacked it to me this morning. But I will check it out. I'm impressed.
We're also going to talk a little bit about the Backrooms movie.
I was just going to say that's the other one I really want to say.
That is the other one, and then I'm going to talk about Justin Benson and Aaron Moorehead. They did the Endless and Resolution and all that. They're all different people making their cool ass shit and slowly getting acknowledgement for it, and it's just awesome to see, especially since we're all creating shit. I'm only envious that I'm not younger and don't have the balls to try and act myself, because if I could act, and that would cut out most of the money. If you don't have to pay your actor, you just film your own movie.
Yeah, it's a really good time for that. And hilariously, so Netflix recently just did a mandate that they won't work with first-time directors, which is hilarious at a
what
time
a
when
bitchy thing to say.
I know, and you've got
it wasn't necessary to say it. You went out of your way. It's just such a weird thing to say. Why are you prejudiced against first-time directors? What if they make an amazing film?
Well, you're in a climate right now where there have been 2 first-time directors, and their movies just both cost almost nothing to make relatively, and have 100x'd or more their budgets. So, if I don't understand why, if you're in the position of Netflix, you're not actively courting the next generation like this. That doesn't make any sense.
Or not specifically alienating them. That's what's surprising to me. Why is that worth a press statement? Why is that worth a statement?
I don't know. Well, I don't know that they made a press statement. It might have just been internal. I don't.
So maybe somebody came to them and they were like, "Oh, we don't work with first-time directors." I prefer the one where they're assholes. That's more fun to me.
I heard it as an internal mandate. I don't know that it was publicly stated as a press statement, but regardless,
I was once on an internal mandate. Never mind.
Isn't that a website that you can't get to in Texas?
It's blocked.
Internal mandate.
So, Dave, do you want to talk about one of these? Because you did some research for this, and also this is just much more Dave's space than either mine or Johnny's typically. Anyway, I've been on a run of checking out low budget horror movies because we actually have one that we're working on, and like I wanted to get educated on it. So, Dave, where do you want to take the conversation?
I mean, we can start with Backrooms because that's the. I don't know which one is bigger in terms of they both made a lot of money and they both surprised a lot of people. Backrooms is cool. I mean, the director of that one I think is only 20 or 21. He started posting the videos on YouTube when he was like 14, just making these videos. The Backrooms is essentially like creepypasta from 4chan, like liminal spaces, like these people in a place that just defies all logic. And he started making the videos, and the fans of that stuff are pretty big into it, and they make a lot of fan-made creation, and it's kind of, I guess it's in the same space or even related to the SCP, which is that whole like X-Files sort of thing. A whole fandom essentially around this thing that sprang up on 4chan, and it has no real original creator of all of it, I don't think. So that it's kind of tricky there.
You mean as far as like the original rights?
Well, yeah, that for Backrooms, I don't know how. I remember hearing
it's
about it.
Almost like not quite public domain, but more like Creative Commons, right? Where it's just like anyone can use it because it was developed in a public place. They can't find the origin point, so it's like fair game. That's how I understand it.
Yeah, and I think I guess he has the way he thought of it or designed it or whatever elements he brought into it. I guess he could get copyright on. I don't know exactly how it works. All I know is he had a huge success with it. The movie's done very well. And I think it's cool that these young people that are on YouTube making cool shit are, now in the movies making cool shit.
Yeah, I agree. And I think like, 15, 20 years ago, you heard, the next generation is going to come from YouTube. And it seemed to take a long time. And you weren't really seeing it. And now it seems like some of that promise.
Bo Burnham had his success with a couple of movies and stuff, and his stand-up.
That's
obviously.
true. That's true. And I do love his art. I wish he'd make another movie. Eighth Grade was, I thought, great. But I mean, he also made Inside, which I thought was fantastic, but it's not really a movie the same way that Eighth Grade is a movie.
But going sideways, veering a little bit. So Curry Barker's comedy on YouTube, I find it interesting because I was reading an interview with him where he was talking about the Cereal and Milk movie, because it is only like right around an hour, maybe a few minutes over. And he said the original cut was like another half hour on top of that. But because he works making comedy sketches, he's gotten ruthless with his editing and really good at it. And I find that the timing of comedy and the timing of horror, they share a lot of the same.
I totally agree with that. And I'll also add that Obsession is beautifully edited. And I noticed that when the credits came up that he was the editor. And you don't normally see that, the writer, director, editor. I mean, it happens. Robert Rodriguez likes to, chopped, scored Robert Rodriguez. But you don't normally see that. And the movie is exquisitely edited.
Johnny, any thoughts on this?
I don't have anything to say about editing. I was waiting for it to shift in another direction. I mean, I don't know. I could espouse on low budget horror. I do think that horror, I mean, maybe this is worth talking about. I'm not the horror aficionado that you are, but I do think that horror films are held to a different standard. because it's a different set of criteria. So, for instance, I've heard like diehard horror fans talk about how this is going to sound like I'm knocking it. That's not the intention at all. But it's like in other words, you can have things be a little crappier because it's just a different metric. It's like we're not looking for the exact same thing. We're not looking for always for like great artistic beauty or whatever. It's does it deliver the result? And I've heard people say, "Oh, I don't even care. Like the special effects were bad, but I don't even care."
That's exactly it. It's that the budget becomes way less relevant. So if you make a $150 million movie, it's got to make a shit ton at the box office to even break even, and so the stakes are really high. But with a low budget horror movie, as long as the emotional experience is there, then horror fans are going to go and they're going to champion it. And more than any other genre, horror fans want to see something new. They want to see something they haven't seen before.
Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to say that the point I'm trying to make is not, it's a little sideways of that because you're making a budgetary point, and I agree certainly with the budgetary point, but it's more like I'm talking a little bit out my ass here, but it's like the independent axes of different metrics that are being watched and then the budget. So it's like not just it's a low budget movie, so therefore people don't expect great things, or they do something that's novel and they respect the budget. It's more like horror films are judged on a different scale. They're judged by different criteria than a lot of mainstream movies. And it's just, I've seen that again and again with people.
Well,
They're
it's
like,
a little bit like, it's very different, but it's also the same in respect where like romance books, right? And you say, like,
yes,
man, I would never want to read that because it doesn't really hit me. But that's because you're not a romance fan. For a romance fan, as long as it hits the tropes in the order that you expect it and it delivers that emotional experience, then it works. And horror is the same way, although novelty plays a much bigger role, but it's an emotional experience that somebody wants to be afraid. Somebody wants to, be at the edge of their seat. And so the other conventions that we normally judge a movie by are not as important. And I find that, I find that to be a really cool playground. This for us started because Spencer, our manager, has been really wanting us to just like get into the clay and start making our own movie for a long time, for years now. And this year was the year we were finally like, okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And I was looking to like go raise the money and just make our own movie, figure out producers, figure out directors, get it going. And Dave and I had a horror script that was relatively like, the concept is really strong and it doesn't need a big budget, essentially. It could be made for around $5 million. And if you look at some of the biggest successes of all time financially, as far as what they return on their investment, they're horror. You can have a movie like Blair Witch, right? Blair Witch costs like $50 or something, just minted money. And, Get Out was $4.5 million.
Paranormal Activity is another one.
Paranormal Activity is one of the biggest successes of all time, and it spawned a franchise. Megan was another one that was recently like pretty low budget and made a shit ton of money. So you can make these like lower budget movies that really have a high return. And so $5 million seemed like a pretty good sweet spot. And then I was talking to one of my friends who's made a few micro budget movies, and he talked me out of going forward with this one that Dave and I had, and he said, look, that's a great idea, but $5 million is actually too much, because you could still totally lose your ass on a $5 million movie, where if you make it for $1 million and you can't get theatrical distribution, which really is the goal. Like the reason that Backrooms and Obsession are doing so well is because they got theatrical distribution and they have this shared experience, and then they'll make their money again when it goes to streamers. But even if you can't get the theatrical distribution, a streamer can give you $1 million and then you break even, which you don't make a shit ton of money, but you break even, and now you go make another movie. And so we focused on coming up with $1 million budget concept, and that was going to be the thing that we roll with. And then I just wanted to get as educated on low budget horror as possible, and I just find it a fascinating space that Dave's kind of been in for like 20 years, loving low budget horror.
Well, I think, I love low. I don't love low budget horror, just for its own sake. Like I don't like the bad low budget. I mean, it's got to be done well. I'm not. I think horror has several different genres, and it. You have the people that just like the gore, the people that like the silly gore, people that like Terrifier, like stuff like that, and it's. Speaking of which, if you haven't seen the trailer for Ice Cream Man,
Don't.
I highly recommend it if you just want to be shocked.
I think I know exactly the movie. It's got that really odd-looking guy, right? I don't. If I'm correct,
it seems
you'll
like
agree.
a definite play, trying to go for the Terrifier thing. Guy gives out ice cream to kids from an ice cream truck, and then the kids all become like murderous, and they're just chopping people up, jumping rope with their entrails, like shit. That's right out of my diaries. So I mean, there's that side. Then there's like the psychological horror. There's stuff like The Descent, which
The Descent is
character driven
great.
and monster. It had both, and then you have like guys like Benson and Moorehead that they had the what was the first one, Spring, and that was like a micro budget movie, and then they had The Endless and some other stuff, and then they went on to direct what was it, Moon Knight episodes, and also the most recent Daredevil series. They did some episodes of that, and there's rumors that they're this was reported a few years ago, so I don't know how accurate it is now, but that they are fleshing out their shared world, because if you look at all the movies,
Are they the guys who did that movie that we watched in that podcast that never aired?
The Endless.
That was like the time loop one.
Yeah.
That's the
I like
Endless.
that a lot.
Yeah.
And
they had another one that interlaced with it. Was that Spring? It was like there was a story in the first movie that was repeated in the Endless, like they encountered those people.
I thought their work was really imaginative. Dave, do you happen to know what the Endless budget was?
No, I knew back in the day when we talked about it. It wasn't a lot, though.
Couldn't have
It
been
felt
much.
really low budget.
Like,
I think they also did
50,000 or something.
Synchronic, I believe.
Yeah, that was their biggest budget. That had Anthony Mackie in it. And
I remember that.
They had Something in the Dirt, which was, that was shot during lockdown. That was a good one. I don't remember the budget on it, but everything they've done is good, and they're sort of building this universe. And I feel like the fans of that, because it's sort of a Lovecraftian horror on the fringes of, I mean, it seems like your normal, everyday, sort of like low-budget horror movie, but then there's like these elements that are just super creepy, and there's like a lore in the background almost that I think really gets people into it. Kind of like Backrooms, the lore that people are like wondering what this is.
They're clearly IP thinkers. Like they're not thinking in independent shots. They're thinking in like what is the bigger thing that they're building.
Yeah, so I don't know where I started with all this, but I just enjoy like a lot of the different elements of the horror scene, obviously.
Unless it's comedy horror, which is a big no for Dave, unless it's Shaun of the Dead. That's his only exception.
Well, I like horror that has, some light beats in it, but okay, so for me,
Obsession, it's not comedy horror at all, but there's comedy in it for sure.
yeah, the horror can't be trivialized to me. It has to feel real. So you could have funny people, but when shit starts happening, and I don't want them to like laugh it off like it's not real. Like I want a real, true reaction to something. And you can
Don't they do that in Shaun of the Dead?
Well, yeah, but I'm going into that expecting a comedy that just happens to have horror in it. If I go to horror that also is trying to be horror, but it's also trying to be comedy, and neither one works very well for me, then it's just me. I don't know. It's just a different taste thing.
I just think it's really respectable, which is kind of on a different plane than good. I just really respect it. It usually ends up being good when people are able to work well within any sort of a constraint, budget being one of them. But you guys know my affection for movies that are just so, like, Alien has 7 people in it. Dead Calm if you've seen that, has 3 people in it. Now, there are technically a few people at the beginning, but like basically 3 people. The Descent has what, 5 or 6? Like nothing. And I think that that's always cool, because it requires inventiveness and creativity just in the production. So like Birdemic is a don't. Birdemic is like, I'm going to make some big epic when I number 1, don't know how to do it, but number 2, also don't have the budget for it. And so I have my cast hold the boom mic when they're not on screen, which is what the fuck. But that's so these little movies, I think horror lends itself really well to it because spookiness is not difficult to invoke on a low budget if you are a good filmmaker.
Yeah,
so like you remember
claustrophobia in a big budget movie sucks.
Right.
But, you know.
Well, like It Follows. You know, okay, so there's this person's walking toward you and you have some, kind of creepy music and suddenly that's intimidating. That movie feels like it was made on nothing. But then there's movies like Primer, which was made for like $2,000 or something. It was nothing.
I love Primer.
And it's so good, but it's like and I think he was using like remainder film or something. But I've always felt the other can be a real trap. Like Christopher Nolan, I love him. I want to love him more than I do because his early like Following and Memento and even Inception, like I love Inception, but I feel like Inception was his inflection point where suddenly they gave him too much money and then he hung himself with it.
Yeah, just coincidentally, we rewatched Prestige over the weekend.
That's so good.
It's such a masterpiece. Like it's such a beautiful piece of directing, acting, and writing. Everything comes together in that movie. The reveal is phenomenally good, but it's in scale. And I think to your point, Johnny, Christopher Nolan, I think it really started with The Dark Knight. Which was like shot on IMAX and just had these like some big sweeping. And I love The Dark Knight. I think it might be the best superhero movie ever made. Like it is a phenomenal movie. But it's where I feel like Nolan started to suffer from an ever increasing case of gigantism. Like his movies had to be like bigger. It reminds me of like David Lean. If you look at David Lean's, filmography early on, he had these small like character movies, and then he made Lawrence of Arabia, and everything was like bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you look at Tenet was just big, and now he's doing The Odyssey. It's going to be like the biggest.
Yeah, I wanted to
ever.
love Tenet more than I did. But, it's funny that you mentioned The Dark Knight, because I agree. I love that movie, and I totally see what you're saying, because Nolan has this thing like, they gave me so much money, and I'm going to spend it on billionaire porn. Like, I'm gonna show lots of unnecessary yachts or whatever. But in The Dark Knight, he's a rich guy, Bruce Wayne. So it made sense to have all that elaborate shit. But then you move into his later movies and you're like, not necessary. Kenneth Branagh doesn't need to have all these scenes in the Caribbean on his big yacht in Tenet. Like, that's just not necessary. He just too much.
Backing up a bit, you said enough rope to hang himself with Inception. Are you saying you did not?
No.
Inception?
I loved Inception.
Oh,
But
okay.
but what I think I probably was talking too fast and ran them together.
Check. So Inception's Batman Begins was a phenomenal hit for him. And that's one of those weird, like, the road's not taken, because before Batman Begins got made, they were going to do a Batman Year One with Darren Aronofsky based on Frank Miller's
That would have been interesting.
graphic novel. It would have been badass. But they were like, Warner Brothers got a little bit skittish. They're like, this is a little too dark. But we like the psychosis angle, and
well, they didn't like that ass-to-ass scene he had with Batman and Two-Face.
Right, I know. It's too many ass to ass in Darren Aronofsky movies.
And Nolan had made Memento, and then just had a hit with Insomnia, and so they tapped him. And I remember like celebrating with my father the morning I read the news. I think it was probably on Ain't It Cool, and like we had coffee. I'm like, oh my God, Christopher Nolan's gonna make Batman. It's gonna be so good. And it was a hit, and then he made The Prestige. And then after that, he followed it up with The Dark Knight. So it was like this graduating. Warner Brothers just kept getting happier and happier with him. And then Dark Knight was so big that in between Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, he could make whatever he wanted, and that was Inception. And
him and Aronofsky teaming up for The Fountain would have been amazing.
that would.
By the way, go ahead. I was just going to say a trivia question as well, so go ahead and say yours.
Yeah, did you know, Dave, that there was another version of The Fountain that was, so The Fountain was made for $30 million, and I think the original budget for it was $110 million.
Yeah, I think like Brad Pitt was going to be in it.
And Kate Blanchett. Yeah,
yeah, I've heard that too. I think we discussed it.
They built sets and everything for it, and then I think it was.
I love the movie that was made though, so I can't imagine the other version of it.
If only we'd released that year's worth of podcasts, because this was a discussion we had when we watched The Fountain for that.
Oh, we should blow the dust off of that and put it out. Like,
I have them all. Like, it's just they were good.
We could do them as filler episodes when we want to cut a week and Johnny wants to fuck off to Comic-Con or something.
So do you want to hear my, I don't know if this is going to be interesting, but you just mentioned Ain't It Cool. That came up so we just went on vacation and the only game they had in the place was a Trivial Pursuit. And so this question came up in Trivial Pursuit. It was like, what movie did the title for Ain't It Cool News? What was that inspired by? Do you know that?
Oh.
It was inspired by a movie, that line, Ain't It Cool? So, I don't know exactly what it was.
No, I actually don't know this.
It was a rather forgettable reference, I thought. You'd expect it to be something monumental. It was Broken Arrow.
Oh, God.
Oh, with Christian Slater and John Travolta?
Yep.
Why?
I don't know. And it's not like that can't be the only movie where somebody has said, "Ain't it cool?" I mean, come on.
That's
did it just change your whole opinion of Ain't It Cool News?
It totally did. I don't know what to do with that.
Did either of you follow the website Movie Poop Shoot News?
I think you're just revealing something that you don't want to reveal. Do you want to edit that out? Movie Poop Shoot. Hold on. Oh my God, no!
It was Kevin Smith's thing. It was basically similar to Ain't It Cool News, but with like a lot of like industry stuff. I'm surprised neither of you have heard of it. It was very.
I actually have heard of it, but I side with Johnny on making fun of you about Poop Shoot. It's in your browser next to Internal Mandate.
It's a subset of the AVN Awards.
And Piss Daddy. Best fishing scene of the year. Yes, well.
Yeah, low budget horror. How about them? How about that local sports team? Woo!
Let's do a low budget horror called Poop Shoot.
I think,
how much was the original Human Centipede, Dave? How much? I would call you David. I was like, well, I'm talking about ass to mouth. I better call him David. What? I feel like that was super low budget too, and a weird cult hit. Not that I ever want to see it.
I've never seen it, and I think it did not cost much.
Yes, I have seen the first one.
Wait, there's more?
Oh, there's I think 3 of them.
Yeah, I was going to say 3, I think.
Oh, no.
And I heard somebody talking about this on the podcast, and the way I haven't seen any of them, so let me know. The first one was like a cult hit. This is them talking, not me. I don't really know. The second one was apparently so far afield, like it went too far for most people, and they were like, whoa, too much. And then the third one is almost satirical because it's, wait for it, an entire prison. That's what you do with your prisoners. Just make them one prisoner.
Wow.
Dave, do you have a favorite low budget horror?
Me?
Yeah. No, the other Dave.
David.
Oh, that guy. Hey, stay in your corner. Put the gift suit back on. I would say Halloween, John Carpenter.
How much did that cost?
It wasn't a lot. I mean, I don't remember the exact, but I know it wasn't a big movie. And it did a lot better than anybody thought it would. So
you know what doesn't stand up when you watch it with your kid as a horror movie? Halloween. But
I haven't watched it in a long time.
Yeah,
I actually like Halloween 2 a little bit more.
I liked Halloween 2. Now, see, before I get shit on by the Human Centipede or the horror fans, Halloween, I do respect Halloween, and at the time it was like 1978 or something. It was one of those things where. I know when we watch Pulp Fiction, it was like, oh, that bring out the go medieval on your ass is a cliche. No. It started here. That's why it's a cliche. So I think that it's kind of like Halloween has some of that. It feels a little tired because it was the first of its particular flavor. But it's very, very slow. Very, very slow. And you're like, okay, I'm waiting for something to happen. So
All right,
I
here's
still
some.
like it
Here's
better
here's
than-
here's a list of 6 of all time. Paranormal Activity is the winner here. Do you know how much Paranormal Activity costs? I didn't even know this. This is
it
crazy.
was like 10 grand or less.
$15,000
Yeah.
for 193 million is what it made.
I liked one of the later ones the most, 2 or 3. I don't know when they had.
I remember you
remember.
talking about this.
Yeah, the teenage girl lived with her family in the same house, and like the lady's kid was across. It was so creepy, and it was so, I don't know. That one to me felt like the most realistic of them all. Like that one creeped me out big time. The first one, not as much because I didn't like the dark ass ending. Although they all have dark ass endings.
First one creeped me out plenty.
The first one, yeah, I thought it was great, and I also thought that the first one, Blair Witch also. So Blair Witch, the budget for that was $60,000, and it made $250 million.
Is that number 2?
That's number 2, yeah. And I thought both Blair Witch and Paranormal Activity, the movies themselves were groundbreaking for what they were, but the marketing behind them was also just completely ninja. Both of them, so Paranormal Activity, its whole marketing campaign was instead of promoting the movie itself or showing scenes of the movie, they showed audience responding to the movie.
Yeah, the like green,
Right, which is just
infrared.
genius.
Yeah.
Right, so the camera is on people watching the movie, and you're watching them having an experience that you want it to then have. And they didn't have, the movie itself is footage, so it's not that scary. It wouldn't have made a great trailer, and they knew that, and so they sold the reactions, which is brilliant. Blair Witch, they treated it like it really was found footage. And, there really was a Blair Witch, and they've discovered these tapes, which was just genius. The third one on here was before my time, so is the fourth one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre at $140,000 and Night of the Living Dead at $114,000. They both made $30 million.
Night of the Living Dead, you've seen it, I assume.
Yeah,
That
the original
one's
black and white.
That's so crazy to me because a movie that was like 1960 or something. It was
It's
early,
68, I think. Yeah, 1968.
and it's still like it holds up. They knew their limits, and I'm sure if it was in color or you would have seen its flaws. But I remember.
Well,
I mean, I haven't
also
watched it.
It invented the zombie genre.
And it was practical effects, which aged pretty well.
Yeah, it
versus
didn't feel
awful.
like because a lot of times when you watch an old movie that has any sort of effects, it's like there's there are limitations. But no, I thought it was awesome.
Saw is number 5 at 1.2 million, and it made 103 million, and gave James Wan a career. That was
Did you both see the first Saw?
I did.
Yeah, I saw it.
I don't think I saw
you-
any of the sequels.
Did you see the ending coming or no?
No.
I did not.
Neither did I, and that's very rare.
Neither
for
did
me,
Austin, and Austin's usually good at that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I actually saw that one in the theater, which was horror isn't one that I typically see in the theater because Cindy's my date, always has been. It's just not her jam, but yeah, she's on the low budget horror train with me right now.
You should take her to see Ice Cream Man.
I will not be doing that. But we
Or
watched,
Terrifier.
We've been watching more at home too. We both really liked Weapons last year. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
But we also both liked Julia Garner, which I think helped to sell it. But yeah, Johnny, to your point, that you could if the whole claustrophobia, what are the constraints? And we've always written with constraints. We like constraints. Constraints make great art. But the one that we're developing right now, it's all one location. They never leave a location. It's a fixed time period, and so it almost has a real time vibe to it. You know what? I don't know that this would even be called horror. Maybe not. Maybe it's more thriller. But do you guys remember that movie from a few years back called The Invitation?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's horror, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I liked that a lot too. It had one single location, just a few actors. Oh,
Coherence
another one.
is in that same camp. It's not horror, but it has that same vibe.
Dude, that's just where I was going.
Yeah, I actually figured, because those two, I think we've talked about them in the same breath.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch Coherence again.
It's one of my go-tos. I've watched it many times.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking about you a lot lately, Johnny.
Oh,
Don't
I'm
get
so
jealous,
hard
Dave.
right now.
Because there's a couple of concepts that I'm toying with that I'm like, oh, Johnny would be really, really great for that. And yes, Dave.
Well, I was sorry. I was going to make a coherence comment. I'll just make it quickly. It's almost entirely improvised too, and that's the other thing that I think is interesting. I feel like they just said, okay, you guys are going to talk about this, and you need to hit this point and this point and this point. Go. So I just thought that was really interesting,
and that's why the vibe feels so
almost random. Like they do almost random things. But anyway, sorry.
Well, that ends this episode.
Oh, okay. I was just handing over for the ending. Well, fuck you guys. Rushed through for that.
We have a script meeting.
We have a notes meeting that we can't be late for. That isn't for a low, but it's for
let me twirl my mustache. I gotta go to my script meeting too.
Oh, shut up! You had a TV show, motherfucker.
I know I did, but I never had script
You got
meetings.
the fame first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was uncredited guy in a window, bitches.
So if this conversation gave you something to think about, you won't want to live without our dispatch, our weekly dispatch. It comes to your inbox every single Friday without fail. smarterartist.net/dispatch. Sign up and you will get the Smarter Artist method right away, as well as the workbook that goes with it. And you won't have to, yourself. So there you go.
You got suicide into it.
Right.
That's good.
It's just like you were just
I didn't
going
know
down one
suicide
path.
was on the table.
It makes life
it was
worth living.
It was
So
as
if
good
you're
of a
not a smarter artist, you're a dead artist. Is that the argument you're making here?
Well, I mean, sometimes dead artists they do incredibly well.
I know that we're at time and there is a script meeting in the offing, but I just like
there
to
is.
visit for a second the fact that Dave went from you can get creative inspiration and you won't have to kill yourself. That was a logical connection because otherause you were going to kill yourself.
No, you missed the beginning of the thing you won't want to live without, the dispatch.
Oh, okay, the thing you. Oh, very. Well, then I rescind my criticism because in my mind it was as much as you were like, yeah, you can get creative tips and you won't end up pooping your pants.
Well, I cannot say anything about that one.
Right.
Okay, so Johnny, will you be with us next week? And does Dave need to count?
Well, I mean, that is one away. Yeah, I'll be here
We're
next week.
talking book covers next
Dave,
week.
can you keep that?
Oh my God! I hope you have something to lose.
I think actually next week is it our first guest in this iteration?
Yes.
Oh, we have a guest. Who is it?
It's Matt Stone from 100 Covers.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be Matt Stone from South Park.
That's the week after.
Right.
No, he turned us down.
God damn it!
All right. Until next week.
Adios. Later.
Bye.
They chase the spark. We own the dark. They feed the scroll while we leave a mark. No tricks, no hacks, just the code they lack. Yeah. We stay on the rails while they fall off the track. Smarter artists never die. Yeah. We don't lay stone for spectacle, don't frame for applause. We build the boring way with discipline and pause. They expect the penthouse view before the footing is set. A crown without calluses, a win without sweat. The craft is in the mortar, not the hunger for more. Not the facade that cracks with a hollowed out core. You want the trick, it's tedious, it's thankless, it's true. Show up with intention till the structure starts showing you. They go fast, we go far. Paper planes versus iron bars. They chase spikes, we stack days. We build the house that never fades. Let them run, let them fly. Smarter artists never die. Yeah. Yeah. They chase vanity metrics that die at the peak. We pour the slow foundations while they sprint for the streak. We don't rent our attention to whatever blows through. We're setting corner posts for storms they never knew. We're not racing to the ribbon, we're widening the base. Let the footing fully cure before the frame locks in place. Every draft's another course, every session's a beam. We're not chasing momentum, we're constructing the dream. They go fast, we go far. Paper planes versus iron bars. They chase spikes, we stack days. We build the house that never fades. Let them run, let them fly. Smarter artists never die. They'll throw parades while you're still setting the forms. Pop champagne and glass towers while you're bracing for storms. Some nights you wonder if the blueprints are lie, if the long game's just patience that forgot how to fly. But scars become low bearing when the structure survives. When the fast builds crack open and the slow ones stay alive. We don't ask for permission, we don't wait to be seen. We're drafting our futures in the quiet in between.
They go fast, we go far. Paper planes.